I'm Jen Landstrom and you're watching Stitches TV. Today I'm going to be showing you how to insert a zipper into a bag. First you're going to start with your bag pieces. I have 4 pieces cut out here, 2 for the outside like this and then 2 for the inside. And then I have a zipper, and this one happens to be 9 inches long, but you can use whatever size you want for the piece that you're making. I cut my fabric so that it fits just inside of the end of the zipper, this metal part there, and then the zipper pull up here at the top, so that you're not trying to sew over where the zipper actually stops past that point. To start, you want to have your outside piece. You're going to do one side at a time. You're going to have one piece for the outside and one piece for the lining and the zipper, and you're going to put the lining piece face up on the table, and then you're going to lay your zipper on top of it so that the edge of the fabric is just underneath the top edge of your zipper, just like this. And you can see I have the zipper pull to the side of the fabric and then the little metal zipper end to the side over here. Then you're going to lay the outside fabric directly on top of it like a sandwich, so you have right sides facing each other and the zipper in between. And then you line up the edge of this fabric with the edge of the zipper, and then you want to pin it in place and make sure you catch the lining fabric on the bottom side and the zipper in the middle. And you pin every couple of inches to keep it from sliding as you sew it. And that should be enough. So then the next step is to take this and you're going to start sewing it. You need to have a zipper foot. I'll show you. This is a zipper foot. It just has no metal on the side so that you can slide it along and you don't catch your zipper in it. And it should come with your machine, but you could also buy one if you need it. I use mine so that it's on the left-hand side. There's 2 spots where you can attach it to your machine. I do the one on the left-hand side and then sew to the left of that even. So the next step is to put your fabric underneath the presser foot and you lower the needle where you want to start your stitching, and then you want to make sure and back up a stitch or 2 to lock those stitches in place, lock the thread in so you don't come unraveled. And then you just go forward and go slowly so that you don't let it slide around much, because there's little teeth underneath the presser foot that pulls your fabric through, but when you do a zipper and it's got this little of fabric underneath the needle, it has a hard time grabbing it, so you kind of have to push it through as you go. And just make sure to remove your pins as you go so you don't accidentally sew over top of them. So anytime I feel like I'm having trouble getting the fabric to go straight through, I just stop it and start again and readjust so that I don't end up with kind of a curvy line. And that's really all there is to it. It's not too difficult. It's just a matter of taking your time. And then getting down to the end of it here. You just want to make sure you do a back stitch at the end and keep an eye on your fingers again. And back up a couple. And then stop and pull your needle up and then just cut your thread. And then I'm just going to cut these pieces of thread off so that you don't have any that are going to get caught in the zipper later. And cut the ones off at the top. And that one more. And then you want to take a look to see how it turned out. You can always go back over. There's a little bit of a curve right here in this stitching, but it probably won't affect how it looks. It's just a personal preference. If it bothers you, you just go back and you do stitches in that area just a little bit more. So then you have your one side done. And then I'm actually going to stitch that just a little bit more to show you how you do it. You just want to start above where it curves out, and then you just follow along a straight line. I'm just going to do a little bit more, so I'm just going to put it back underneath. Start where it's still where you want it to be before it starts curving, and then make sure to back up a stitch. And then go back and just try to keep it a little bit straighter of a line this time, so you don't have a bow to the zipper at the top. It's not curved or anything. And I've just about got it there. Do a little bit more. And then just back up. Maybe do 2 stitches and then forward 1 and then pull it back out once you get your zipper up. And cut those threads off too. And that looks a lot better. And then you know that it looks perfect. And then we'll start the other side. So you're just going to do the same thing again, but for the other side. But it's a little bit difficult to visualize how you lay the fabric down. So we'll go through that. So then you just want to open it up as though this was the one side of your bag, or whatever you're putting a zipper in. You could be the front of a sweater or something also. In this case, it's a little bag. And so you open it up to have the right sides out. And then you're going to do the same thing as you did before, except this time the zipper pulls on this side, which really doesn't make a difference. You make sure you have your fabric the way that you want it to lay. So I want it to lay like this. And you put the outside fabric on top again and line it up with the top edge of the zipper. And then you want to take the lining fabric and put it face up, and it's going to be underneath. So this time I'm doing it the opposite order and putting the outside fabric on first and then the lining fabric underneath. It doesn't really matter how you do it. It just seems to be easier for me. So this way. And then you want to line up their edges so that you have them both kind of near where this other half of the bag starts and ends, and also make sure they're lined up with each other on top and bottom, and then start pinning in place. So I'll just start pinning and then I'll straighten as I go. So we have the zipper and the top fabric and the bottom fabric. And that looks like it's going to line up really well. So just put a couple pins in, and then you're going to go through and you're going to zip it just like you did before. Except you have a couple more layers to push through this time than last time. Make sure you got it all. Okay, so then you're just going to go back to your machine and put it underneath. Just make sure not to get it too close to the zipper teeth. Take out your first pin and then drop your needle back up a couple stitches and then sew forward. And just try to keep a straight line and not get your fingers underneath that needle, because that really doesn't feel very good. Take out that one. And I'm pulling it from behind just a little bit to help it feed through, because it's tugging a little. It's not going through as easily as I'd like. And that way you don't get your hands in the way. You're not trying to push it under the needle, you're pulling it away from it. So. Pull that needle and that pin out. And then just do the little last bit. And back up a couple, and then forward, and then raise your needle and pull it out and cut your threads off again. And get the ones on the other side. And now we'll open it up to make sure that the zipper went in straight, and you can continue with your project from there depending on what you're doing. If you're making a sweater or if you're making a bag, then you go from there. So there's our zipper. Just move this a little bit. And it's imperfect, and then you just unzip. Zip it, make sure it's good, and it's done. And there's your project. I just showed you how to insert a zipper in this case for a bag. You can use this on any project you like. Thanks for watching Stitches TV. I'm Jennifer Landstrom. We'll see you soon.